Hi, this is Alekia. In the last video, we have seen how to integrate Google Zero Code APIs into our WaveMaker application. In this video, let's see how to promote an employee. So let's begin. So let's go to the reference page once. So this is a reference page. As you can see, there's an edit button over there for each employee list item. So on click of that edit button, we were able to open a update employee dialog with few fields. So let's build the same thing in our app. So go to the studio and select the employee list. And as you can see, there's a button over there. Select that button. So first, let's rename the button edit employee. It is always recommended to follow the proper naming convention for widgets as well as in the properties panel. Scroll down. You'll find a property called icon class. Click on that icon. You'll be able to find the various icons. So the icon which I require is edit. So I'm selecting the edit icon and click on apply. So our edit icon has been applied successfully. So on click of this edit button, I have to open up a dialog, update employee dialog. So for doing that, we require a dialog first. So from the widget section, search for the dialog and select the design dialog and drag and drop it onto the canvas. So I'm renaming the dialog. And I'm renaming the title as well. And save it. So go to the page from the breadcrumb and select the button. And on click of this button, we have to open up the dialog edit employee. So I'm going to the third tab, which is the events tab. The event which I require is on click event. So on click of that event, I'm opening up the dialog edit employee.open. Search for dialog edit employee.open and select that event. Now let's see whether we were able to open up the dialog or not. Previewing the page, I'm able to open up the dialog. But as per the reference page, we have to show the fields like first name, last name, and all other stuff. So let's do the same thing. So for doing that, I'm going back to the studio again. So from the variables, create a variable. Click on new variable, and since we are using a Swagger import APIs, so I'm going with the imported APIs. So from the service, select it as HR API. Since we are promoting the employee, I'm going with the patch API. So which will be there in the other endpoints. So I'm selecting other endpoints, and in the method, I'm searching for patch. So since we are updating the employee, I'm using the patch employee method. So give a proper name to the variable, leaving the owner as page, and click on done. So by default, in the properties, as you can see, update data on input change has been checked. So I'm unchecking that and clicking on save. So go to the data tab. So we can see there are two fields, employee ID and the employee object. So we'll bind them later, and I'm closing the dialog now. So select the dialog which we have dragged and dropped, dialog edit employee from the breadcrumb, and onto this dialog, I want to drag and drop a form. So this is the form. Select that and drag and drop onto the dialog. So as you can see, there are two types of sources. One is from services and one other is from the existing variable. Since I already have created the variable, I'm selecting the existing variable, and so from the form submit variable, select the variable which we have created now. So I'm selecting SWG update employee, and then click on next. So as you can see in the reference page, it is a 2-column layout. I'm going with the 2-column and click on next. So yeah, these are all the fields which are present in the employee object. So let's uncheck all of them. Select the fields which are required for us. So first name, last name, job title, state, street, city, and birth date. So this is the title of that widget. And so there is one more column called view as, which is nothing but we can choose the widget with respect to field. So as you can see, it is a birth date. The widget has been populated as date. So similarly, for every field, WaveMaker automatically populates the appropriate widget. If we want, we can change it later as well. And then click on done. So as you can see, the form has been populated successfully on the dialog. So from the properties panel, select the first tab, which is the edit tab, and I'm removing the title and rename the form edit employee. There is a label called employee details. So I'm selecting that label. As per our UI, it is not required. So I'm deleting the entire row. So that has been deleted successfully. And as we can see in our reference page, the alignment way is something like this: first name, last name, job title, birth date, and city, state, and state. So let's do the same thing in our app. For doing that, select the form from the breadcrumb, and from the properties, you'll find advanced settings. Click on the advanced settings, and this dialog has been opened. So these are all some of the properties which we can apply. So I'm going to the fields, second tab called fields. So here we can see all the fields. So let's rearrange them now. So first it would be the first name. So select the field which you want to rearrange, and in the bottom left, you can find the up and down arrow. So on clicking on them, you can move the fields up as well as down as well. So first name, then after the first name, it should be the last name. And then next, it should be the job title, then birth date, then street, city, and then state. I'm clicking on save. So as you can see, form has been realigned successfully. As you can see in our reference page, we are populating few details over here, like the selected employees details we are populating. So let's do the same thing now. So for doing that, from the form properties, scroll down, you'll find the default value property over there. So let's bind the default value now. So click on the bind icon and go to the use expression tab. And here let's write an expression. And from the widgets below, variables and the widgets below, open the widgets and open the employee list. Since we have to bind the selected employees, so I'm choosing the selected item object, widgets.employee_list.selected item, and then click on bind. So our default value has been set successfully. Let's refresh the page and see. Yeah, our selected employee details has been populated successfully. So I have selected Eric details has been populated. So I'm selecting Chris now, Chris details has been populated. So in the dialog, as you can see, as per our reference page, there are only two buttons, save and the reset. So there's no close button over there. So let's remove the close button now. So go back to the studio and select the dialog and click on the close button. You'll find the dialog actions section. So and delete that entire section. So now we'll be able to see only save and the reset. So on click of the save button, we have to update the employees details. So for doing that, go back to the studio and go to the variable which you have created for updating the employee and go to the data tab, and from the fields, let's bind the employee ID and the employee. So for employee, since we have to update the selected employees information, so go to the widgets and select the employee list, and from the selected item object, choose the employee ID field. So you can see, as you can see, the field is bound to employee list dot selected item dot employee ID. So click on bind, click on done. So our employee ID field has been bound successfully. For binding the employee object, go to the widgets and select the form, edit employee, and from the form widgets, from the form edit employee, select the data output and then click on bind. Save and close. Now let's refresh the page once. Click on edit button. So now let's update the employee's job title. So I'm promoting Eric to senior product manager and then clicking on save. So as you can see, a success message has been populated. Data has been posted successfully. So let's close the dialog now. And as we can see, for Eric, still it is showing as product manager. Let's refresh the page and see. Yeah, as you can see, once after refreshing the page, we were able to see the updated employee's job title. Let's avoid this thing and let's see how we can fix this one. So go to the studio and select the variable, select that tab, and on successfully updating the employee, let's call the variable swg edit employee. Go to the events tab, and in the events, there are few events available. So the event which we require is on success event. So on success of this event, we have to refresh the variable which we have bound for populating the employee list. The variable refreshing that variable. So select that, and we have to close the dialog as well on successfully updating the employee. Search for dialog edit employee dot close and select that. Save and close and refresh the page once. Click on edit button. So let's again rechange the Eric's job title to product manager and click on save. As you can see, Eric's job title has been changed to product manager successfully. So this is how we can use the patch APIs in Wavemaker. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks and see you in the next video.